Hello and welcome to the Couch King podcast. This is your host Gavin, and today we're covering Bears beat Bucs. Oh my gosh, 4-1. The Bears are back, baby. And Week 5 preview. Who's gonna win? Who's not? Overs, unders, all that. I've got it here. And my DraftKings fantasy lineups for the week. And finally, we'll end off with some finals preview for next game, Game 6. LeBron and the Lakers and Jimmy and the Heat. Who knows what's going to happen there? Let's go Heat, let's go Jimmy. Alright, to start it off, we'll talk about Bears versus Bucs. Final score 20-19 Bears. Heck of a game from Khalil Mack, 2 sacks, lots of pressures from the whole defense as a whole, and just a phenomenal game by them as a whole. I think a lot of haters out there don't think they're playing legit, but I think the way they're playing right now shows lots of room for improvement, of course, but they're dominating the offense, and the Bears offense, Nagy's offense, is not helping the situation at all. But we're getting there. Foles in at quarterback, second week of him playing, second start, his first win as a Bear. Doesn't look too bad. Hit or miss right now, though. Allen Robinson, great game, of course. He's the number one target. Please extend him, Ryan Pace. He is the best Bear you have out there on offense. He's the only thing you have going for you. Without him, we would score negative points a game. -5 to 20 is what the final score would have been. But heck of a game by them. Nagy's play calling was a little bit better. From yesterday or 2 days ago interview of Nagy, he sounds very frustrated with the offense. He does not like where they're at, as many of the Bears fans also believe. Apparently they're being very sloppy, not playing properly. So with the corrections of that, I think the Bears will be a force to be reckoned with soon. And I mean, they just beat some people's Super Bowl favorites this year in Tom Brady. And you could definitely see the frustration they caused Tom Brady, caused the GOAT quarterback. And I think they'll continue to do that the rest of the season, as next week they play Carolina. And they're playing a little bit more mobile of a quarterback in Teddy Bridgewater, who limits his mistakes as Brady normally does. And as of this week, we proved that we can take limiting mistake quarterbacks and make them make mistakes, like Tom Brady's fourth down confusion. We got to get the run game going on offense. Montgomery out there looks ticked. He's tired of Charles Leno and Bobby Massey being the ones that are protecting him. Of course, they're going to be there for the rest of the year, but hopefully they can figure something out on offense and their run blocking. The pass blocking still is kind of iffy as well, but we'll see what happens there. Also, Jimmy Graham, freaking monster. Tied in the NFL, I think, for touchdowns so far this year. One-handed grab today, keeping the Bears alive. We're gonna keep rolling. I know the Bears are gonna keep playing hard. They're gonna freaking romp some cheeks. Bear down. All right, on to Week 5 preview. For this week, I have for all the games I have my predictions for the over and unders and the plus minuses. So to start off, we'll go Bengals Ravens. For Bengals, I think I take their DraftKings plus 12.5 versus the Ravens. I do think the Ravens are going to win this game. Of course, Lamar Jackson, last year's MVP, but Joe Burrow is going to pull some out of there. He's going to get them within 10 at least, and they're going to pull ahead with that winning bet. I'm also taking the over of 51. I think Ravens are high-scoring, powerful offense, and Joe Burrow is going to have to throw it like 500 times this game. So there's no way they don't get over 51 points combined. On to Raiders and Chiefs. John Gruden knows what he's doing out there. He is a Hall of Fame coach. Granted, he's kind of crazy. Mask not doing so hot on his face, but they are going to pull out the plus 11.5 against Patrick Mahomes' Chiefs. Maybe he'll cough on Mahomes. Maybe the Chiefs. Maybe Stephon Gilmore will have a little delayed coronavirus to Mahomes, who knows? But the Raiders are going to get within 10 or within 11 and a half. And I think with the Chiefs' powerful offense, the Raiders are going to have to keep up. Over a 55, I'm taking it. Rams versus Washington. I need the Rams to do huge this week. I've got Jared Goff on my ESPN fantasy team. That's why I'm taking Rams -7. They're a much better team than Washington. Washington's having a quarterback change. Yes, it's going to be Kyle Allen, but I don't think he's that great of a quarterback, especially against their defense with like Aaron Donald rushing them. I just don't think they're going to be able to stay within 7. Rams run away with this one, but I don't think their offenses are very high-powered, which is why I'm taking the under of 46. On to Eagles versus Steelers. Steelers -7. Eagles are terrible. They're part of the worst division in football, and the Steelers are looking great. They are going to smack the Eagles around with that -7, and I'm 100% taking the over of 44. Steelers might get 44 by themselves, but the Eagles are going to have to score at some point. Over 44, guaranteed. Cardinals versus Jets. Cardinals -7. If we all think the Eagles are bad, the Jets are the worst team in the NFL. Worst coach currently, as Bill O'Brien's now been fired. Adam Gase, maybe Dan Quinn's next. We'll get to that. But Adam Gase can't lead this team. The Jets have some of the worst players in the NFL starting. They have the bench warmers starting out there. Sam Darnold might get mono soon. Who knows? But Cardinals -7, totally running away with this. Kyler Murray will actually be running away with this. Hot take, Kyler Murray, 100 yards rushing this game. Totally gain 100 yards rushing. They will not be able to contain him. But I am taking the under of 47.5, as the Jets won't be able to score the entire game, and the Cardinals running around will waste the clock. They're not going to score as many points as they could. All right, on to Panthers versus Falcons. The Panthers are going to take the +2.5 today on that game. Falcons, Panthers, it's going to be a battle. They both have, okay teams right now, but they're going to have to. It's going to be a shootout with Matt Ryan and Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley. So the Panthers are going to have to keep up. And I think they're a better team, so they will pull ahead. Or I think they actually will win this, but they will be within 2.5 points. And I am taking the over 53.5, as the Falcons do score a ridiculous amount of points all the time. Jaguars, Texans, I'm taking the Jaguars +6. Bill O'Brien's gone. They are a confused franchise currently, and we got some Minshew magic on the other side of the field. There's no way the Jaguars don't come within 6 points this game. They, I think, are going to win this game. Minshew, 2 touchdowns probably thrown this game. 1 to DJ Chark, maybe 100 yards receiving for DJ Chark this game as well. But I am taking the under 54.5, as neither one of these teams are very impressive offensively. Occasionally they'll have good games, but I don't think both of them are going to have great games, which will result in the less than 54.5 total points. On to Dolphins versus 49ers. The Niners I'm taking with the -8.5. Jimmy G might be back. George Kittle's coming back has been back, and they are going to run away with this one. The Dolphins are not good. Fitzmagic is spotty, and I don't think it's going to be there today. Niners run away with it. George Kittle, 100 yards receiving again. Hopefully grabs me a couple fantasy points while he's at it on ESPN. But I am taking, again, the under of 51 points. I do not think George Kittle will carry the Niners to 50 or to around 35 points. Dolphins aren't going to score very many. Combined, they're not going to be above 51. On to Giants-Cowboys. Taking Cowboys -9. The Giants are awful. Again, part of that terrible NFC East division. And the Cowboys have just such a potent offense. Zeke will run for 100 yards more than likely. Dominate the game. Dak Prescott will probably throw for 3 touchdowns. The Giants' defense is nothing that special. And their offense, as sure as heck, is not special, which is exactly why I'm taking the under 53.5, even with the potent Cowboys offense. On to Colts versus Browns. Colts -1. That is what I'm taking this week. It's going to be a close game, but the Colts defense is legit. The Colts offense is legit, or somewhat legit, against especially a bad Browns defense. The Colts are going to win this one. It's going to be close, but they're going to pull it out with the -1. And I'm taking the under 48 because the Colts defense will stop the Browns offense and Odell from scoring lots of points this week. On to Vikings Seahawks. I'm taking Seahawks -7. Vikings have not looked good this year, and let Russ cook is happening right now. He is throwing so many touchdown passes. They are going to by far win this game by more than a touchdown. And that's exactly why I'm taking the over at 57. I do think Kirk Cousins is going to have a better night game than he normally does, which is why I'm taking the over, but Russ cooking is going to take over that game. On the Chargers Saints, I'm taking Chargers +9. Justin Herbert has looked awesome this year. Yes, he's made some mistakes, but he's throwing dimes out there, and that's why he's going to take this team within 9 points of the Saints, maybe even pull it out. Drew Brees has looked pretty old, looked pretty bad. I think the Chargers have this bet pretty easily, and I'm taking the over 50.5 because it's going to be a shootout. Now for the two last picks I have, there's no bets up currently due to the postponage, but I'm taking Pats over Broncos all day. Vic Fangio, love the guy, but Bill Belichick and the Pats are going to take over that game and win. And also, Bills are going to destroy the Titans and their coronavirus-filled team if they ever play. Josh Allen is playing fantastic right now, carrying my fantasy team to its 1-3 record, and that's exactly why I'm taking the Bills over the Titans. Now we're going to move on to my DraftKings lineup, my fantasy lineups for this week. I don't have a ton, but I feel confident in my couple of lineups I've entered. So for a $3 contest, I have a lineup of Kyler Murray at quarterback, Todd Gurley II at running back, James Robinson, an absolute dominant undrafted free agent against a poor team this week. I'm taking James Robinson. He's going to score 20 points. Robbie Anderson, who has been very solid this year, averaging 19.7 fantasy points per game. I'm taking McCole Hardman, who's hit or miss, but I think this week he's going to hit hard against John Gruden's Raiders. T. Higgins of the Bengals. Joe Burrow's going to have to throw the rock, so he's going to need someone to throw the rock to, and that's going to be T. Higgins this week. For my tight end, I have Darren Waller. He's never a bad choice. Against the high-potent offense, they're going to have to keep it up. Derek Carr is going to be slinging the rock, and he's going to be slinging it right to Darren Waller because that's his number one target. My flex, I'm taking Mark Ingram. They're playing a poor team this week. Mark Ingram, hit or miss as well, but I think he's going to at least get one touchdown this game and 70 yards rushing. And maybe a couple receptions will get him plenty of points this week. And finally, I'm taking the dominant Steelers defense against a very poor Eagles. And they are going to sack and destroy Carson Wentz's hopes and dreams. Jalen Hurts is going to come in, and he's going to get sacked and lose all of his hopes and dreams because this Steelers defense led by TJ Watt is legit. I also have a NFL Classic lineup with Gardner Minshew, James Robinson, Mark Ingram, Brandon Ayuk, T. Higgins, Darius Slayton. I think they're going to have to throw the ball a little bit, and Darius Slayton's going to be the man catching it from Daniel Jones. George Kittle, of course, dominating man. Terry McLaurin had a big week last week. He's going to keep it rolling this week, having to go up against the Ravens and the Cardinals defense against the worst team in the NFL, the New York Jets. My third lineup of the week, I'm taking Phillip Rivers at quarterback. I think he's going to have a solid game, maybe throw 2 touchdown passes. They're going to be running it a ton this week, though, against that hit-or-miss Browns defense. So I also have Jonathan Taylor this week, accompanied with Ezekiel Elliott, who will be fed the football this week against a poor Giants. Taking Odell Beckham. I do think the Browns are going to have a poor game, but they're going to have to score something, and he's going to be the guy getting the touchdown. Brandon Ayuk, Darius Slayton, Mo Alley Cox of the Colts. I'm taking heavy Colts in this lineup. I think they're going to have a great game, and he has been a big target the last couple weeks, so I think he's going to pull out with a touchdown. For my flex, I'm taking CeeDee Lamb. Big week last week. He's looking like a number 2 target, accompanied with Amari Cooper, and Dak Prescott's going to sling him a couple deep ones this week. And finally, my defense, no shocker, taking the Colts against a very poor Browns team. Although they have been 3-1, I do not think they're the best team in the NFL, and I think they're going to have a hard drop-off starting with this game against that rough Colts defense. For my final lineup, it is the free KFC Sunday night lineup. I have for my KFC captain, DK Metcalf. I think he's going to catch a touchdown pass or two. Big game from him. He's going to get the huge bonus score. He's going to have a huge game. That's why I'm taking him as my captain. Then I have Russell Wilson, who's going to be throwing him all those dimes on Sunday night. Chris Carson, who's going to be pounding it. 20 fantasy points per game. He will dominate. Greg Olsen. Once again, the Seahawks are going to have control of this game over the Minnesota Vikings. That rock's going to be spread around between Metcalf, Carson, Olsen. Olsen's going to have a nice game. Jason Myers, the kicker. When they're scoring these touchdowns and getting in the red zone, he's going to need to kick the extra points and the field goals, which is exactly why I'm taking him for such a cheap price to get those easy points. And then I'm also taking the Vikings kicker because they won't be able to put it in the end zone nearly as much as the Seahawks. He will have to kick more field goals, which for another cheap option, I'm taking Dan Bailey. So those are my 4 fantasy lineups for the week. I think they're all going to do great. I'm feeling extra confident in my $3 entry, my early only. The first one I listed, I think Kyler Murray is going to have a big game. Or is it Kyler Murray? Yes, Kyler Murray is going to have a huge game this week, and I think that's why they're going to dominate. Along with Gardner Minshew, Phillip Rivers, all those quarterbacks are going to have a great game this week. All right, into the final segment of this podcast is going to be over the NBA Finals. LeBron's Lakers, Jimmy's Heat. Heat underdogs just forced a Game 6 to LeBron. And I think Jimmy's taking it over right now. He had a solid triple-double game right there on Friday with the Game 5. And I think their dominant defense and Duncan Robinson shooting are going to carry them to a Game 7. I want it really bad. Jimmy Butler, Jimmy Buckets, I need him to have a big week. Please, Jimmy, take him to a Game 7. I want to have this be entertaining. You guys have really played friggin' hard. I need to see this. Although, if they do lose to the dominant LeBron Lakers, overpowered team, Anthony Davis, the actual leader of that team, the Heat had a successful year. I don't want to hear the Jimmy should have taken them all the way, whatever. Everybody knows that they had a great year. No one thought the Heat were going to be in the finals, and Jimmy brought them there, along with his accompanied roster of role players, along with Bam and Tyler Hero. They had a great year, but I'd love to see him force a Game 7 and even win it all. That's it for this week's The Couch King podcast. It is once again me, Gavin, sending you off. I'll recap Week 5 with you on Monday, or Tuesday, in fact, because of the Monday night games. I will talk to you guys again. Hope you enjoyed my predictions, my thoughts on the finals, my thoughts on the Bears beat the Bucs. I hope you take into consideration my DraftKings lineups this week, as I think they're going to be great. Once again, thank you for listening. Have a great Sunday weekend of sports, and I'll talk to you guys again on Tuesday.